Hi YouTube, I know it's been a while since I've done a video. When I first started doing this, I thought I'd be pumping these things out like gangbusters, but unfortunately that nasty little thing called real life kind of sort of slowed things down. I had a new baby boy about a week ago, as well as my job recently increased my hours. Actually, they doubled my hours, so I'm working quite a hefty schedule. But this particular one is going to be a short tour of my game room downstairs. My collection obviously is nothing compared to some of these other guys around, such as Gamester81. That guy's collection is just awesome. His video is listed under my channel favorites. Go check him out, check his videos out, subscribe to him. The guy is probably one of the coolest guys I've ever seen on the web or on YouTube. So yeah, go check him out. It's Gamester, not Gangster. Gamester81. And check that guy out. The other thing I'd like to announce is that Classic Game Vault now has a new official carbonated beverage. In some of my other footage, you may have seen some cans of Old Milwaukee lying around. My personal favorite, Molson Canadian Light, as well as Lakeport Ale. You've seen those lying around. But recently I stumbled upon an American brand which is now being sold in Canadian beer stores. I'd seen it in the US before, but when they started selling it up here, I thought I'd check it out, and it is now the official Classic Game Vault beer. Keystone Light. It's probably the crispest, cleanest beer I've ever tried. So I'm going to crack this one open and let's get on with that tour, huh? Oh, that's good. Welcome to the Classic Game Vault dungeon, or as I call it, my man cave. One of the first things you will need in your gaming setup is obviously a comfortable place to sit, such as this love seat here, so you and your significant other can enjoy your games together. One of the most important things you need, obviously, is a television. A CRT or cathode ray tube, old-fashioned style TV is recommended. You can use an LCD HD TV, but they will not display games as they were originally intended to be displayed by older systems. So obviously you also need some sort of sound system setup. These speakers are cheap Radio Shack bookshelf speakers, and I will be upgrading these as soon as possible. Controlling all of that is a 2-channel Kenwood KRA 5070 receiver. I bought this brand new around 1994 or 95. It was $299 at the time, and puts out 100 watts RMS per channel. Sitting on top of that is a Genixa, which is a Radio Shack brand equalizer. It allows independent adjustment of left or right channels. It's 10 bands. All the LEDs and lights still work, and it has an important feature on it which I will be reviewing later on. If you intend to connect many different systems, you are going to need something like this. This is an audio video switch box. Obviously you connect your systems to it and press the button of the one you would like to use. This one is made by Pelican, who makes all sorts of different third-party accessories for various game systems. It has the standard composite as well as S-video or component inputs. It also has LAN network connections for each input if you need to connect your system to your local area network. I have 2 of these, one here, because I have what I call 2 banks of systems. A shelf containing my SEGA systems, I call the SEGA bank, and a second shelf containing the other systems I call, well, the other bank. We're going to start with the SEGA bank, in particular the SEGA Master System, which was SEGA's entry into the 8-bit market, which was obviously dominated by the Nintendo Entertainment System. But this is still a very, very nice system to collect for, reasonably inexpensive, and there were a lot of quality games released for it, especially Sega arcade games, such as this one that we're going to power up here. This is the famous Altered Beast, a Sega arcade classic, which a lot of people make fun of nowadays, but it was a very cool game for its time, and I still think it's a cool game. And the Master System port is quite well done. Almost looks very close to a 16-bit game, in fact, not your typical 8-bit game at all. Moving on, we're just going to hit the second button on this switch box, which is connected to the Sega Genesis as well as the Sega CD. Obviously the Sega Genesis is very famous. This is a Model 2 connected to a Model 2 Sega CD. There are people, I'll just move this Saturn controller out of the way, people that argue that the Model 1 is the better model. My response to that is, why not have both? Because you simply cannot have too many Genesises, or Genesi, I guess the plural would be. So we power that up, and we get the little Sega screen. SEGA. I'm sure we've all seen this particular game before, the famous Sonic the Hedgehog. If you boot your Sega Genesis up without a game in the cartridge slot, your Sega CD boots up, and you get this attractive logo screen, which tells you you have the Sega CD by Sega. It tells you to press the start button, which gives you another logo to remind you that this is a Sega system, as if you needed that. This is the Sega CD game Solfease, which is a shoot 'em up, a space shooter as they're called. I'm a big fan of space shooters. I'm a big fan of space shooters on the Sega Genesis, and I'm a big fan of the Sega Genesis. So this is a win-win situation right here. But we're going to move along and hit button number 3 on my Switch, which is connected to the mighty Sega Saturn. Obviously this was Sega's entry into the 32-bit market, which was dominated by the Sony PlayStation, obviously. The Sega Saturn was not very capable of doing 3D graphics, which gamers demanded at the time, so the Sony PlayStation obviously dominated. But the Sega Saturn is very worthwhile to collect for. It is the king of two-dimensional graphics. A lot of quality arcade games were ported over. Anything from Street Fighter to King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat, and everything in between. It was way more powerful than the Neo Geo, and is still easily found for $50 on various sites. And if you are into that, you can easily mod the system and play any game you wish. This is obviously the famous Nights into Dreams. Very, very cool game for the Sega Saturn. We're going to move along